Released in 1989 for the Nintendo Game Boy. We have one of the original games during launch, and that's tennis. And this game, surprisingly, is fun to play. I'm usually not a big sports game fan, especially on something like the Game Boy. Just seems like a kind of not so good place to put a sports game port. But this game is surprisingly fun. I hadn't played it since 1989, popped it in earlier today, and was surprised at how fun and playable it actually was. And the good thing about this game is it's quite affordable. It's a pretty common game. You can pick it up for just a couple of bucks. Now, today is one of those days where nothing seemed to go right. I originally wanted to do this Game Boy game review through a TV type system like the Super Nintendo Super Game Boy converter, which I don't have. And I have the Nintendo 64 transfer pack. Now, not knowing much about this thing, I figured you plug it into the bottom of a Nintendo 64 controller, put a Game Boy game in, and play it on your Nintendo 64. But no, that's not how this thing works. This thing is some really freaky peripheral that was used by like 4 games. It's practically useless. So it doesn't do what I thought it did. Shame on you, Nintendo. Anyhow, strike one for me. Strike two, I went to record the tennis review on the Game Boy Color, but it's not backlit or frontlit, so it made filming it virtually impossible. So I will pop it in the Game Boy Advance to give you a little taste of it, even though it's not ideal for filming. Let me just dim the lights, I'll be right back. And we're back. Let's turn on the Game Boy Advance and check it out. Oop. It's quite hard to actually play this through the viewfinder of a camera. As we can see, the controls are quite basic. You use the D-pad to move your character around, and you have the A and B buttons to control your shot. The A button is a low hard shot, and the B button gives you a very lofted trajectory on your shot. And I'm doing quite terrible, but this game is actually quite fun. If you get a chance, pick it up, and if you already have it, give it a play. I had it sitting around forever, never really played it. Anyhow, you get the idea. Tennis for the Nintendo Game Boy. More than meets the eye, actually a quite fun game. I'm Dommy from Classic Games Revisited. If you'd like to pick up tennis for the Nintendo Game Boy, take a look at the new links down at the bottom here. They used to be over here, now they're down there.